guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video that I'm excited for. I am reacting to my followers' favorite romances of 2022 so far. This was inspired because I just recently did my video where I posted my 5-star reads of the year so far, and I was like, what is everybody else loving? I would love to know, so I wanted to do a reaction video. I did do a reaction video to my followers' favorite books of 2021 as a whole. Before I move on, sorry if my mouth is red. My sister is amazing and picked me up some Ritas as an after-school treat, so I had the Swedish fish flavor, which is absolutely amazing, so my mouth is all red. But I am really excited because I want to be able to read more 5-star reads. I feel like I've read so many good books this year, but I've also had a slew of like, oh, this one was 4-star, this one was 3-star, this one was okay. I want to read a lot of good romances in a row because I read my followers' favorites of 2021 at the beginning of the year, and I was reading some of my favorites of the year, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to the books that my followers on Instagram have loved so far this year. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram if you're not already. I feel like with the rise of TikTok, a lot of people's favorites are some of my old favorites from years ago, like 2016, 2017. So the first one that I see here is A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner, which I was obsessed with when I read it, and I think I read it in 2017. It has been a long time since I read that book, but it really showcases my love for angsty, messy romances, because in this one, it's always the you're my person, but it's never the right time. Either one of them's in a relationship, they meet when the hero's dating the heroine's best friend, and so they go on a long journey together. From what I remember, it was like both of them were engaged to different people at some point, and it was just very messy, and you don't even know if they're gonna be together at the end. You want to throw the book across the room. Such nostalgia thinking about this book. There's a special edition with like exclusive content that I need to get my hands on, but I was obsessed with this book back when I read it around when it came out. I think Candy only had a handful of releases out so far, so just bringing back a lot of feelings. Then someone did say The Devil and the Devil's Advocate by Ashley Jade, which I actually read The Devil this year and I really enjoyed it. I know that the plot was bonkers and I don't know what book 2 is going to be about. I can't even decide what I want to tell you about this book because it's just best going in not knowing, but there's kind of a love triangle and we flash from the past where two characters have a past together to the present where the two characters are interacting again, and then the heroine is there as well. So that's really all I want to tell you about the book, but it's definitely a wild ride, definitely a steamy ride, but I definitely have to read book 2. It's not even that long. I think I listened to the audiobook of the first one, but of course my hoopla is annoying where it has series out of order or doesn't have the rest of the series. Like they've slowly been adding the Tate James Hades series, so I finally listened to book 3 and I have to wait till I get book 4, but I was just talking to someone about Odette Stone's series where it's a hockey romance series and my library only has 3 and 4 and they don't have 1 and 2. I don't know how they choose what books I get, but I did listen to this on audio and I enjoyed it, and it's definitely a fun book. Someone did say from Luke Out With Love, I feel like any video I do of favorites of the year at any point in time, Mariana Zapata is going to show up on there. I really do love this one. It's enemies to lovers and it's an ice skating romance, which led me to wanting more ice skating romances, more hate to love, more with that kind of dynamic between the characters. I did really love this one. Okay, so I feel like we're going to see a lot of favorites from 2021 on this list because we have The Love Hypothesis, which was one of my favorite books of last year. I really adored this book. As a traditionally published book, there's Miss Lily, it was really good and I am really excited for more from Allie Hazelwood. I've read her 3 novellas this year and was pleasantly surprised with all of them. I gave them either 4 or 5 stars. I did really enjoy them, and so this one was just such a great fake dating romance that was light but also not light at the same time. There were a lot of serious things involved as well. I did enjoy the romance and I'm jealous of people who have the hardback special edition because that's really, really pretty. Like I said, of nostalgia, Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becker Ritchie, one of my friends actually put in, she has been reading the series and I loved this series like 5 years ago, so it's really fun seeing everybody rediscover it and fall in love with it again. I didn't finish the series. You guys know I'm notorious for not finishing series. Even if it's a duet, I will not finish it for a long time, and so I stopped like literally halfway through, like at the halfway point I stopped reading the series, but I love these characters and it is, I don't know how it would age now. Like as a reader now, I'm really not into new adult books and I wonder if I would love that series as much as I loved it back when I was reading it. When I was more than new adult age, like 5 years ago, I was fresh out of college and I loved reading all the drama new adult books that I don't typically love and gravitate towards today, but the series will always hold a special place in my heart, and so I don't even remember specifically Kiss the Sky. Was that in the Calloway Sisters series, I think? But I'm glad people are discovering Kristen Becker Ritchie. This is funny because this one, the next one is Manacled, and I have been wanting to get into Draco Hermione fanfiction because Jen started reading it, I know Rachel started reading it, and a lot of people just started reading this fanfiction. And Manacled, I think McKay even read it too. Manacled is giant. It is like almost 1,000 pages. It's super intimidating to me. I get really intimidated looking at big books. So I do have Breath Mints and Battle Scars on my TBR. I think I've downloaded actually both Breath Mints and Battle Scars and Manacled because I know Melina from Melina's Library also really loves Hermione fanfiction. And so I got some recommendations from her, and they're all free. They're all fanfiction, so it's illegal for them to sell their books for profit. So I would like to read them. I know they're dark. Manacled is actually a Handmaid's Tale kind of version of Harry Potter, where it's after the war and the evil side has won and Hermione is given to Draco and his wife to have babies. So it sounds intense. I'm pretty sure that's Manacled, but I would like to read this. I'm just very intimidated. And it would be a lot of time investment for me because I read physically slower. So I do know, I think on Spotify though, part of it's on audio, so I'll have to check that out. I am interested. I'm intrigued. So someone did say Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa, which yes, I definitely agree. But they also said Kissing Death by Alexandria Lee, which I have not heard of that. So I'm gonna look that one up. Oh, it looks like it is the third book in a series. I have never seen that cover before. Whoa, so it has 4.65 rating on Goodreads, and it says that when she met Dominic Reed, she got the first taste of death and became addicted. I don't like these, sometimes these synopses are all like very metaphorically written and I'm like, but what actually happens in this book? I have no idea what this book is about. It's the third book in the trilogy. Oh, so I guess you have to read them in order though. So I don't know, it sounds like it's a dark romance. I'll have to check out that out there. I'm very intrigued, even though the synopsis doesn't really say anything. Okay, so I knew that this was gonna be, so Cheyenne from That Tell Book Girl, a lot of my friends did put their responses in here. She loves Fair Catch by Candy Steiner. We were actually chatting on the reading sprints that we did on Sam's channel from Sam Reads a Little with Tori from Novel Life. We were talking about Candy Steiner and how I haven't read her a lot, but I loved A Love Letter to Whiskey, but I haven't been super loving her new releases, and Cheyenne had said Fair Catch is one of her favorite books of the year, so I'm definitely intrigued to read Fair Catch. I really want to because I know it is a football romance, I think. I would like to try this one out. Try out and see if Candy Steiner is still for me. She also said Her Shadow, His Secrets by Cece Monroe. That author name sounds really familiar. I don't think I've heard of this one, and the cover's cute. Hidden in the Shadows All Her Life, which is where she has most felt like she belonged. She moved somewhere for a fresh start, and he was only there for a job. And it says, now she's in front of me, interfering and blocking the clear path. Again, like, I don't know what that means. So I guess, like, they both are in town and they meet each other. He meets her and is immediately attracted, and that's really all I know about the plot. Okay, so it sounds interesting. I might check that one out. I wish I knew more about these books. But the next one is Jen from the Book Refuge. She told me Between Wrath and Mercy. So I don't think I've heard of that one either. These are a lot of these books I've never heard of. I don't know if Jen's talked about it on her channel, because I usually watch her weekly wrap-ups. Oh yes, okay, I remember her talking about this after I saw the title. I know this is a fantasy, and is it a debut author? I feel like it's debut, and Jen was really excited. Yeah, so this author's only written one book, and she's a 34-year-old mother living in isolation, and her daughter is kidnapped, so she's gonna do everything to get her back. And she thinks that she is a goddess because she has dedicated the last 16 years to hiding her child, so no one will take her. Oh, her child is kidnapped by a prince, and she has to leave her place of hiding, and the prince is the man who broke her heart. Ooh, this sounds really good. I know Jen really liked it, and I know it was an author I hadn't heard of before. It has really good ratings. I'm gonna have to try it out. I do really want to read more fantasy romances, and this has a 4.42 rating on Goodreads. That's very impressive, so I do want to try this one out. We have Dead Man Walking, which is pre-story. It's very dark, and this says they loved it because it got them reading again. I love if Gianna is on anybody's list. Gianna Darling's one of my favorites. This one is book 6 in the Fall of Men series. Book 7 comes out super soon, so I cannot wait. We also have Akawar, which I love that people are still reading and falling in love with that series. I loved it way back when. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years since I read that one when it came out. So whenever it came out the year, I read that and I really enjoyed it. I remember stalking my mail at my apartment for that book to come because I took the day off to read it. Then we have an Onley James. We have Headcase or Madman. I think Headcase is the new one in the Necessary Evils series. And I'm super excited to read more by Onley James. Yeah, this is number 4. And I don't know how many there are now. I think a new one is coming out soon. Oh, number 5 just came out at the beginning of April. So this is number 4 and it came out in January. And I really love these books. Well, I only read book 1 and I absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to read more in the series. They have such high ratings. They're about psychopath children who were adopted by this doctor who tells them who to kill. So they harness their powers for good instead of evil. So I definitely need to check that one out. We have Culty, another Mariana Zapata, classic soccer romance, coach player. I really love that one as well. We have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan and Hookshot and the Hades Hangman series. So that's a lot. I love Long Shot and Hookshot. I don't remember if I finished Long Shot. Is that the second? Oh yeah, so Long Shot's the first one. Hookshot's the third one. That was on my 5-star reads of the year, but we also have the second one, which I never finished, which I have to go back and finish. But Hades Hangman series is exciting because I only read book 1 years ago and absolutely loved it, and of course refused to finish the series because I'm like, it's just so good. I gotta give it its time because I want to save it for when I need a good read, and then I never read it, but I really want to. Then we have a controversial one, The Confidence of Wildflowers, which I read when not a lot of my friends had read it yet, and I did a reading vlog for it. I did get sent the copy from the author, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I saw the problems with it, like the writing could have been a little better, and I think that the heroine did cheat, and not for a good reason. It was a little bit insta-love, and there is something that happens near the end that can trigger a lot of people. I do put a spoiler warning in my Goodreads review for that if you want to look at that. And the heroine was abused by her father. So literally the first chapter is her saying her father's dead and she didn't cry. She's not sad about it. So I can see why people liked those. So addicting. It's a age gap romance between our heroine and the neighbor next door. She is 18. She just graduated high school. She's trying to figure out her life, and I liked it. Things got very messy and complicated at the end, but I like messy romances. So I found it very addicting and entertaining, but I know some people absolutely hated that book, but I gave it 4 stars, and I'm definitely going to continue and read the second one, but I've heard the second one's not as good. We have Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I forgot, I skipped over that. This one I have to read still. I really enjoyed the second book more than the first book. I feel the first book in the series is a little bit overhyped, but this one is the one with the brother and the best friend, I believe, and this one's been like brewing since book 1, so I am excited to read this. I am excited to see what Anna Huang comes out with next and read more from her. But now we finally have historicals. So we have The Bride Goes Rogue, which I absolutely loved. I gave that 5 stars. It hadn't even come out yet, but it is so, so good. And we have A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall, which is also a book that has not come out yet and that I'm very excited to read because it says a trans main character. So, and the trans main character was best friends before their death occurred. And so people think that this character is dead, and so she comes back as who she wants to be and sees her best friend from before her death, and he is not coping well. And so it's their romance and it looks really good, and I'm very excited for that. The historical romance readathon is happening soon, so I might read the book for that readathon. We have The Duchess Hunt, which Annie Lorraine Heath makes me so excited to see on this list. I love it. It is mutual pining, and she works for him and he's trying to find a wife. It's so good. We have, okay, so this person says, you've read The Bully and Don't Kiss the Bride, which were both 5-star reads for me. So I'll say Captive of the Horde King, which so gonna have to come over here. I did love Don't Kiss the Bride, and a book box is doing a special edition of it, but the book box is so expensive and I don't think I'm gonna get it. It's 3 books for like $150, so I don't think I can convince myself to do that, but I'll just admire everyone's beautiful copy of Don't Kiss the Bride if they do get it. So we have The Captive of the Horde King. It's Zoe Draven. I've been meaning to read Zoe Draven because I've heard that their alien romances are very good, and that's what this one looks like. She made a deal with the Dakari Devil, and now he owns her. Okay, so she had to save her brother's life, so she sold herself to the Horde King so that she could protect her brother, and she agrees to warm his furs to travel with his horde across the wild lands and never see her family again. So I think that she falls in love with the guy who she has to be with. So that sounds actually really good. I am definitely gonna add Zoe Draven. Zoe Draven? Was that the author's name? Yes, Zoe Draven. It's confusing because I think of Grace Draven, but I'm definitely gonna add that author to my TBR. We have Say You Swear by Megan Brandon, which I feel like I've heard very mixed things about. I've been hearing mixed things about Megan Brandy's books anyways, but I did not love The Boys of Brayshaw High, and I did not love another book I read by her. I don't know if I've read a book I liked by her. I'm pretty sure this one's the one of my friends did not like. And it's a college romance. I don't know if I'd be in the mood for this, but it does have good reviews. It has a 4.59 rating on Goodreads, so maybe this is the one my friend did like. I know Sam and Cheyenne were talking about Megan Brandy in our live show, but all my Goodreads friends gave it 5 stars, so maybe I'll try it out. I don't know. Haven't been loving college romances, but people are obsessing over this book. It's definitely a very vague synopsis, so it just says like life led her to him until suddenly he wasn't there anymore. I don't know what that means, but okay. We have Praise. I'm assuming this is Sarah Kate. I've been talking about Cheyenne and Sam and Tori because we did our live show together, but Cheyenne is actually interviewing Sarah Kate in May, so I have to read this book. I'm really excited to read this book because everybody's been talking about it. This came out like this year and it already has 10,000 reviews on Goodreads, which is amazing. It has such high ratings on Goodreads. I don't know if it went viral on TikTok, but this is a girl who is trying to get money from her ex-boyfriend for a security deposit or something, and she ends up showing up at the dad's place because the boyfriend's like, oh, my dad has the money, and the dad had never met her and thinks she's there to be his new sub and like dom sub situation, and she's confused and he freaks out when he figures out the truth. So yeah, we have Gothicana, which I actually really enjoyed, by Rue Nix. This is a really fun, kind of like spooky boarding school situation. Is it a college? I think it's a college. And she falls for a professor, but they're super close in age because she took time between going to school and he has secrets. So we have The Bride Test by, oh my gosh, I'm not even halfway through these. We have The Bride Test, which I really enjoyed as well. Book 2, right? I think this one was really good. I like that one. Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. I think I read that one, but I don't love the Ravenel series of what I've read by Lisa Kleypas because I started like halfway through the series when I was super new into historical romances, so I don't know if I appreciated them enough. I do want to go back and reread the beginning of the Ravenel series and like appreciate them for what they are. Another Hades Hangman. We have Under Lock by Mariana Zapata, which I feel like I don't hear a lot of people saying is their favorite, so that's interesting. I think this is the motorcycle one. I haven't read that one. Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. I myself wasn't super in love with this book. I don't remember why because I read it a couple years ago, but it was not a favorite of mine. But like I said, Alexis Hall's historical I'm very excited to read. We have Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Is this even a romance? So this says, the author returns with an unforgettable portrait of an artist as a young woman. So blindsided by her mother's sudden death and wrecked by a recent love affair, Casey's arrived in Massachusetts in the summer of '97 without a plan. She's a former child golf prodigy, and now she waits tables and rents a tiny moldy room at the side of a garage, and she's 31. Interesting. I don't know, it sounds more like literary fiction. I don't know if I'd love that, but I've seen that cover around. We have Balance by Lucia Franco. I didn't love this one. I'm just not into that huge of an age gap with that power dynamic, but I know people are like die-hard fans of this series, so it just was not for me. We have Juniper Hill, which Dabney Perry, I'm really intrigued by this because it's Indigo Ridge and Juniper Hill. I've seen these books everywhere, so I'm really excited to read Juniper Hill. Indigo Ridge is on my TBR for May, so I'm really hoping to get to these two and see what the hype about Dabney Perry's series are, because I read The Coppersmith Farmhouse and didn't love it, so I'm a little bit scared. We have Saving Viraco. I've never heard of this one either, so let me look this one up. So this is book 3 in a series, and it looks like an alien romance from the title, and my phone needs to load. Oh, it has a 4.05 rating on Goodreads. So Lily is freed from alien captivity, and she refuses to wait for rescue or recapture. So she decides to run away in the forest on her own, and an enormous alien falls into her camp and makes her question everything. He is grumpy, rude, and annoyingly sexy. Trusting him would be a mistake, but she can't leave him behind. So said he was supposed to liberate the kidnapped humans and return home, but he gets dropped into the forest and finds her. So I don't know, it sounds like a fun alien romance. I feel like there's a whole world of alien romances and monster romances I don't even know about, and I am intrigued. I would like to check those out. We have an old one, Getaway Girl by Tessa Bailey. I actually think I read this one and I enjoyed it, but I read it years ago. So Tessa Bailey has an extensive backlist that I don't think people realize that she has, so people should check out her backlist more. In Treatment by Grace Draven, I read this one. Is this her Beauty and the Beast? Oh, as my TikTok opens. I think this one is in Beauty and the Beast retelling that I read, and I know some people have been discovering it this year. It is, yes. So the heroine's sister, I believe, is like in love with someone, and the heroine falls for the guy's dad. So, and they're both cursed, both the dad and the guy. Then Came You by Lisa Kleypas is so good. I love this one so much. You guys should check it out. It's book 1 to Dreaming of You, so if you love Dreaming of You, read this. It's Hate to Love, and it's amazing. We have Take a Chance by Sapna Bog. I actually read a Sapna Bog book, so I don't know what this one is. I really enjoyed her historical romances I read. I would love to look more into this author's backlist. So this one looks like it is a contemporary. So it says that there's a world of glamour, wealth, and beautiful people. The guy is part of their empire, and he's returned to India to take over the helm of his companies from his grandfather. And he wants to find out who is selling his company's secrets, so suspicion falls on the heroine. And he decides to work closely with her to expose her, and I'm assuming they fall for each other, and then she's probably gonna figure out that he was only getting close to her to figure out if she was selling the secrets or not. So it sounds good. A little messy, but it sounds good. We have Rewriting the Stars by Claire Kingsley. I really want to read more Claire Kingsley. I want to try her out. What am I saying? I have not read her books yet, but I do know she has a lot of small town romances, and I definitely want to try her books out. I might do a small town romance reading vlog because I want to read a lot of those authors. All Roads Lead Here, one of my favorites of the year. I did give this one 5 stars. It was in my 5-star video. We have Welcome to the Dark Side. Again, Gianna, amazing. We have The Words by A. Jade, Ashley Jade, which I really want to read. I don't even know what it's about. I do like the cover, and I am going to see this author at one of the signings I'm going to, so I might buy this book. But, okay, it's Enemies to Lovers, and it's a standalone romance about mistakes, forgiveness, and second chances. He was the talented bad boy. She was the irrelevant geek. He made her believe she was special, and then he destroyed her. Oh, and then they see each other later. So it is a second chance romance. I'm very excited for that one. We have The Anti-Heroes in Love Duet by Gianna Darling, which I definitely agree. I love that one. We have Things We Never Get Over by Lucy Score. This one has been in the top 10 on Amazon for like months. I think a lot of people love Lucy Score, but I've never seen anybody on BookTube really talk about her that much. But it says bearded bad boy barber Knox. That's quite an alliteration there. Prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone. And he has a dog, and Naomi ran away from her wedding, and she's riding to the rescue of her estranged twin. Okay, and her twin leaves her with her niece that she didn't know she had, and now she's stuck in the town with no car, no job, no plan, and no home. For the 11-year-old, she didn't know her twin sister had an 11-year-old daughter, and Knox, I think, might help her, so that actually sounds really cute. It sounds like a small town romance too. Let me know if it's a small town romance and if I should read that one. Just Like Heaven by Julia Quinn. That one I really enjoyed. Is that the Friends to Lovers romance? I don't remember the order of those books, but I think that might be the first one where it was her brother's best friend. The Morgan Brothers series by Lauren Rowe. I really love that one. Okay, I'm gonna go through these quickly. I've been on here a while. The Queens of Monsters series by JT Geisinger is definitely one of my favorites of the year. I loved book 2, and book 1 was really good as well, so I definitely need to continue on. Book 4 is coming out like any day now, so I agree with that one. We have Torn, I'm assuming by Carrie Ann Cole. I really did not like this one. I liked Tide. I forgot which one I liked. Torn, I did not love because he grew up with her as an uncle figure, and I just found that a little too weird for me, but I know people really, really love that one. Oh, I really like Devil's Bride by Stephanie Lawrence. I read that, I think, last year, and I really liked it. Ravished by Amanda Quick, I absolutely loved so much. We have Don't You Dare by C.E. Ritchie. I don't know what that is. Okay, I like the cover. So this one, it was never meant to be more than a dare, a party game, a dare, a kiss, and then I'm pretty sure they fall for each other. So, oh, it's her best friend. It's a Friends to Lovers. Oh, but it's new adult. He might be a baseball player, but it sounds really cute. I don't know. It sounds really cute, but it's new adult. But I'm really in the mood for like a lot of Friends to Lovers romances. I feel like I don't get those enough. 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle, which is also one of my favorites. I really, really love that book. Definitely gave it 5 stars. We have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, which I enjoyed, but I'm super excited for the second book. This one is Hate to Love, and the second one is one of the other brothers because their grandfather dies and leaves them like a thing to do in his will. And the second one, I believe, is Marriage of Convenience. So it sounds really good. Then we have 7 Days in June, which I definitely agree. Definitely very emotional. Second chance romance. We have Still Beating, which is a very dark romance that I also absolutely adored. The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry, which I also gave 5 stars, but I read that a while ago. I have to finish this series. I've heard The Silent Waters is really good. We have Tied by Carrie and Cole, which I just talked about. Torn. Tied I think is better because he rescues her from being kidnapped, that she's been kidnapped since she was a toddler, and then she's trying to reintegrate into society, and he's a recluse, so they kind of bond. Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin is so good. Another 7 Days in June, another Still Beating, another Dead Man Walking, another Welcome to the Dark Side, another Praise by Sarah Kate, so I have to read that. My American Duchess by Eloisa James, which I really enjoyed. He sees a woman at a ball. He's like, she's gonna be my wife, and it's actually his brother's betrothed, so good. We have Twisted Games and Tied again, All Roads Lead Here. Crescent City 2, which I still have to read. I need to read Crescent City 1 though beforehand, so I will get to that. Another Devney Perry, another Lucy Score. Wait for It by Mariana Zapata, which wasn't my absolute favorite. I did give that 4 stars, so I didn't love that one. The Addicted series. Someone did say The Silent Waters by Brittany C. Cherry. I really need to read this one. I think that the hero, oh, I forget what, the hero has some sort of disability. I don't remember which one it is. Oh, this is book 3. I've only read book 1 and then I skipped to book 4, and book 4 is one of my favorites. So this one, he lost his voice, so he does not speak. And it says, it's the story of a boy and a girl who loved each other but didn't love themselves. Sounds very emotional, so I had to be in the emotional mood to read this one. Oh, we have Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone. I just got the audiobook of this one and I'm really excited for it. I really enjoyed book 3, and my library only has books 3 and 4 of this series. So this one is the first book. It is a hockey romance, and it says, I want to experience real love, real passion, and then, oh, I remember, okay, so they're on a plane and she decides to blurt everything out to the stranger sitting next to her, and he says, if we survived, I'm gonna help you out with something. Wink, wink. And they survived, and he helped her out, and then they fall for each other. Oh, and it's the first day of her job, she sees him, so I think she works for the hockey team. That sounds so good. I'm really excited to read that book. The Words Again by Ashley Jade. Topaz by Beverly Jenkins. I need to read this one. It's another Beverly Jenkins. That's one of her earlier ones that I have not read yet. Someone said the Kingmaker series by Kennedy Ryan. Yes, that makes me very, very excited. Another The Words by Ashley Jade. Another House of Breath and Sky by Sarah J. Maas. Lots of Still Beating. We have No Tomorrow, which I need to read. I'm pretty sure it's super emotional. It's Carrie and Cole, and he's a musician. I was just talking about it in my live show I had. I think that both Cheyenne and Sam love it. Not that I had. That was on Sam's channel, so I have to read that one. And then we have The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke. This one I'm super intrigued by because I love Elizabeth O'Rourke now. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I'm trying to get through all of these, but this one is book 2 in the series, and it says that she's a famous singer, and we're also following Josh, who's the older brother of her boyfriend. She goes on a 2-week vacation with her boyfriend's family. She befriends Josh, and the boyfriend's not on vacation with the family. So she falls for her boyfriend's older brother. I am really intrigued by Wrecked by Lauren Asher. I believe this is book 3 in the series, and I think this one is Tori's favorite, and it sounds really good. Yes, and this one I'm super intrigued by. The first one I liked, but I didn't absolutely love it, and I think that he gets injured, and he wasn't a driver, and it's a catastrophic mistake, and they hire Elena, who is an overpaid babysitter. I think this is the one where he gets injured. I don't know. It might be, it might not be, but he needs her as a PR, and he's super brooding, and they fall in love. So that one sounds really good. I'm gonna stop there. That was a super long video, but let me know your favorite read of 2022 so far. If you have read any of these, and which ones I should read that I haven't yet read for a reading vlog. If I read some of your favorite romances of 2022 so far, they all just sound so good. But that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.